Hello and welcome to the Mortal Kombat Minute, the only podcast where we analyze, criticize, and memorialize the 1995 film Mortal Kombat, one supernatural minute at a time. I'm Phil Casper from philcasper.net.
I'm Spanish from GameFixShow.com.
And we are on minute number 17. This minute starts with Sonya Blade explaining to Shang Tsung who she's looking for. And it ends with a shrieking serpent thing coming out of Scorpion's palm.
What the heck is that?
What is that?
Well, in the last minute, Sonya's line was cut off, and all we got is "I'm look."
Right.
But what she actually says is, "I'm looking for a murderer. He boarded this ship." Okay, so and that was her expressing that question to Shang Tsung.
And Shang Tsung replies almost kind of in a, I guess, a patronizing way.
Of course.
The best way I can describe it is like, oh, I'm impressed. Somebody made it onto my ship without my knowing.
Yeah.
But it is my boat, and if you'd like a tour, I'd love to give it to you myself.
Which it sounded weird. Like, I don't know what that was about.
Right. Reading back on it, I think he is implying like you are on my boat without my permission, so you can't go about looking around my boat unescorted. So I'll be happy to escort you around if you'd like it. I mean, like he obviously has always had some fascination with Sonya Blade to begin with since the beginning of this movie. Yeah. So I imagine he wouldn't mind a little extra one-on-one time with Sonya Blade.
Yeah. You talked me into it. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So there's that, and I guess before Sonya could really reply, you see coming off screen, and then we cut over to Johnny Cage coming in saying, oh my gosh, I had it written down, but be nice to the lady. She's just doing her job,
right?
Which I'm thinking like, man, like. Johnny Cage acting all noble and whatnot, trying to come to the rescue and defend Sonya when like just the prior minute he was doing the exact same thing, hitting on her and being like, hey, we can go look for Kano together.
Yeah, and had a gun pointed to his neck. Like, I mean, geez.
Like, easy there, Tiger. Come on.
But then Sonya, of course, being the loose cannon, I think as I put it in the last one, she says, when I want backup, I'll radio for it. like, okay, all right, calm down, lady.
Right. And you mentioned last minute that Liu Kang was following Sonya, or at least going in her direction. He joined in with Johnny Cage as well. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah.
But yeah, as soon as Sonya says, I'll radio for it for backup, we then see a close-up shot of a door with this interesting kind of design window on it and a hand reaching through it to start to open it.
Yeah, I feel like I failed.
Why?
I was looking everywhere to see what the heck that the cutout in that hole in the door was. Right. I feel like there's something to it. I hope maybe the listeners would know. Maybe what that is, because I do, you know, I don't, because I don't.
I was intrigued by it as well. I'm like, what is that design from? It like in if you're looking in audio, if you're listening in audio, it's kind of the shape is a circle with I want to say like kind of like a half moon crescent shape that's pointing downward. At the very bottom of the circle, and then there is kind of a long V shape. It's all centered. It's a symmetrical shape. And I don't know where it's from at all.
I've been looking everywhere and I can't find it. So if you did hear this episode and you do know, please let us know. We would love your input on that, because that's why we do this. We need more information.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you can hit us up on social media at MK Minute on Twitter. We also have a Facebook page, or you can even email us mortalkombatminute@gmail.com. Let us know. And but I do have a theory about this thing.
Okay.
But it doesn't make sense right now because we're not at the part where I'm going to bring it up.
Okay.
So
so you don't want to bring it up?
Yeah, not right now. Just it'll be further towards the end of this minute.
Oh, okay. All
So
right, cool,
yeah,
cool. Well, then we're good.
little
We'll
teaser
sit on
there.
that. We'll sit on that
Yeah.
then. Okay. Well, as after Sonya says that she'll if she wants backup, she'll radio for it. In walks two ominous characters. The music gets real heavy. Don't you love that?
I love.
Don't.
Oh my gosh, I love that guitar chord so
Yeah.
much. It's so powerful. We get a hint if you are a fan of the Mortal Kombat games, we kind of get a hint of who is coming through the door if you couldn't already guess it. But the hint is that there's this blue fog that's just floating ominously like past this door
Keep
as
in mind,
these two make their
it's
entrance.
not the first time we've seen that fog in this movie.
Fair enough. Yeah, fog machine guy is still doing his job. Like
That's right.
he's just leaving this fog machine on everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's it.
We got plenty of juice. Let's just get it all done. Yeah, right, right.
All the fog.
Well, in this case, the fog is, I'm assuming, is because of the one character in blue. And well, before I say who it is, Johnny Cage then, as they enter, says, "You got that radio handy," because these two, whoever these things are, I don't even know if you want to call them gentlemen,
right.
walk in, and then Shang Tsung says, "Do you have the line? I do. If you don't."
Yeah, yes, I do, but by all
Right.
means, I'll let you have it.
It says a Scorpion and SubZero, deadliest of enemies, but slaves under my power. Okay. SubZero's real name is Bai-Han. I don't know if you knew that.
No, I did not, because I'm coming more explicitly from just the movie standpoint.
Just the movie. Well, as far as Mortal Kombat lore goes, Bai-Han is the first Sub-Zero, and I'm assuming this is who this Sub-Zero is from the very first Mortal Kombat. Later in Mortal Kombat 2, he was replaced by Kao Ling or Kao Lang. I can't pronounce it's whatever.
Now allow it. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because he was killed according to the game, and later, if we want to just go with the game, Bai-Han was later resurrected by Quan Chi. Bai-Han then became Noob Saibot.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, what's so strange about Noob Saibot's name?
It has noob in it, I guess.
Well, if you spell it backwards,
oh, Tobias.
It's Boone, which is
Okay.
Ed Boone's last name, and Tobias is Saibot spelled backward, which is the other creator of Mortal Kombat.
Okay, there we
go. That's how they came up with that name. I digress, but I just wanted to give you a little lore.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so the DVD, the special features in there actually do have like some small character profiles. They don't go into it as in depth as you have Spanish in terms of Sub-Zero's history. Actually, they don't like in the special features. They say that the actual name and origin of Sub-Zero is unknown. However, based on his uniform, it is believed he belongs to the Lin Kuei, a legendary clan of Chinese ninjas.
That's true. That is very true.
And as his name implies, he has mastered, well, we'll see this, but he has mastered the element of cold. His deep freeze leaves an opponent at his mercy.
Okay. And to even go further on that, Sub-Zero's code name for his assassin, because he was an assassin, is Tundra, which is not a very good secret.
Right, yeah.
Code name, if you ask me. But
that I did not know.
Yeah, there you have
it. Interesting.
So anyway, getting back to the minute, as Shang Tsung says, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, deadliest of enemies, but slaves under my power. So really, in reality, Sub-Zero and Scorpion are mortal enemies. They really are. But because of this tournament, they are kind of under his power and doing his bidding in this case.
Exactly. Almost like they're allied because they're forced to be.
Right. In this case.
Yeah. And they immediately take up fighting stances afterwards, right? They're readying themselves for a fight.
Pretty much. And because of that, Sonya points her gun. I
Right.
mean, without any hesitation,
Right.
because she's a police officer. That would probably be what you would have to do, right?
Yep. Just telling him
So,
to move aside, hand on the
yeah,
trigger.
yeah, hand on the trigger on her left hand, by the way. Uh, and well, of course, SubZero then grabs the gun, just the tip of the gun,
Just the
uh,
tip.
just the tip, and freezes the gun and just pretty much just breaks the tip off the gun because it was so cold that you could break steel, apparently.
Right. And yeah, and like that, like seeing that for the first time was just very uh like awe-striking, I guess. Like I'm like, oh my
Okay.
god, like I knew his capabilities, but I didn't know, he would do that right off the
Yeah,
bat, right?
sure.
You know.
Yeah, well, he's strong,
But
I
yeah,
guess. And he's
exactly.
very cold.
Exactly. And immediately after that scene though, we then cut over to Scorpion, and the music changes
Mhm.
just a little bit. I love the music change. Because you hear like these flutes kind of going off in the background, kind of ethereal sounding, and a high pitch noise, almost like some notes
Yeah.
are being hit that kind of make me feel a little uneasy. And to add on to it though, like as we're panning the shot in front of Scorpion, we see like his palms start to like bulge
Yeah.
a little bit, and then something starts emerging from his hand.
Well, before you do that, before you
Oh,
get into that, I know, you're on it. I know, I get
I
it.
know.
Hold on. Scorpion's real name. Here's some more lore for you because this was never actually said in the movie. Is Hanzo Hasashi, and he is a member of the Shira Ryu. Sorry, I can't say it. And yeah, okay. So keep going. I just wanted to point
Yeah,
that
no
out.
worries. Is a member or was a member?
He is and then was, but I
Okay.
think at this point is.
Okay. Okay.
Well, because
But
he has to, if they're mortal enemies, then that would make sense that he's with the Shire Ryu and then SubZero with So yeah,
fair
that would
enough.
make yeah.
Fair enough. So yeah, something starts emerging from Scorpion's hand, and it's just some sort of best thing I describe is like some sort of serpentine almost creature with a long nose,
Yep.
uh, lots of sharp pointy teeth, and two eyes. And it looks, and as it fully emerges from his hand, the head at least, it has three talons,
It
that
does.
one underneath its jaw, and then two above, one on each eye, or one above each eye, I should say.
Right, right.
And then it kind of like does a whole like almost blooming thing. It's almost like a fatal flower of some sort. Like it,
Yeah, that's a good point.
like the talons come out, expand, and then the eyes open, and it just opens its mouth to reveal all these sharp pointy teeth, a tongue, I think it's a forked
It's like
tongue.
a fork tongue. Yeah, it's split definitely down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice, there's like layers of teeth. I think there's like 3 layers I got out of it. I want
Uh,
to say about 2 to 3 layers of teeth.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Like there's actually one. There's one on like the bottom of its mouth. The
Right.
2 layers. Let's say two.
Yeah, too.
It's weird. It's actually like on the almost like on the bottom of the mouth, uh, surrounded by the actual teeth that are around it. Yeah.
Right. And he's squaring, like, so Scorpion is squaring off against Johnny Cage. And actually
Yeah.
during this scene, during this reveal rather, like Johnny Cage is like, it has this look of disbelief on his face. It's like, what the heck did I get myself into?
I mean, yeah. How can you believe that when you see that happen, right? If you notice, the eyes, if you will, on the serpent, if you, as you described it as, were closed, and as the mouth opened, you hear like a shink, and the eyes opened up.
Right.
And I also wanted to point out that the eyes are white, just like Scorpion's.
Right. Yeah, I know. I noticed that too as you were saying it. And yeah, that shriek that's being let out by this creature is just very unsettling.
Right. Now, here's some lore. As far as the Mortal Kombat game goes, the weapon that Scorpion wields is the kunai. Kunai. I believe I pronounced that correctly. And it isn't alive per se, although
It's
it does
basically
come out of his hand.
like it's a heavy dart on the end of a rope.
Right.
That's all it is, really.
And he throws it and does of course, if you play the game, get over here, and he grabs you and then pulls you towards him, and then you're stunned and gives you a good shot at that point. But,
exactly.
yeah. So obviously I have to mention that as far as this creature or whatever that comes out of his hand, that is this is only for the movie. I think they just took liberty to it, because that creature itself is not in any video game.
Right. Yeah, it isn't exactly canon, but I figured the guys in charge of CGI are like, all right, we gotta use up our budget somehow. Let's make this cool serpent creature weapon. And I read on a oh my gosh, on a blog, on a
blog?
enthusiast blog. There we go.
Okay.
On an enthusiast blog somewhere, that the writers, whenever they were making the script and designing these scenes, they didn't know exactly what Scorpion was using in the first Mortal Kombat game, or the first two, because the sure, the graphics were good for the time, but they weren't as clear to actually give detail on what the thing is that Scorpion is using. And like, even if you go through the animations on the game, it looks like it just appears out of his hand whenever he is attacking with it. You don't really know where it comes from, so they're just like, you know what, let's make it a creature that shoots out of his palm.
I would love to know what Ed Boon thought about it. Was that his idea? Because if that's the case, why haven't we seen it in a video game? That's what, you know what I mean? But if not, then why wasn't he like not okay with it? I don't know. Maybe it's just a play on things, and he was like, oh, this is interesting, let's just let it go. Who knows?
Although I do like the decision for them to do this, because it helps establish early on, for people that aren't familiar with the Mortal Kombat franchise, to associate Scorpion with an otherworldly being. Like, he's not of nature here. He is supernatural for sure. Like, he's summoning demon snakes out of his palm. He has, he looks blind, but he can probably see perfectly with his eyes. He looks like he's a corpse, almost like, with these glazed over eyes.
Well, he's from the Nether Realm, which is, in other words, hell in this case.
Yeah. So I think it's more of a decision on the producers, the directors, or whatever, to establish, like, this guy is not of Earth.
No.
So that's my takeaway from it.
That's fair. Yeah.
And a couple of final things that I want to note. I really like their masks. We get a good shot of both Scorpion and SubZero's mask during this minute, and you can see that they are both they're very different, even though they have similar dress.
Right.
The masks are just unique.
They have the same tailor, is really what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And actually, they kind of explain that in the character profile of the DVD special edition, special features. Where they go to Scorpion. Let's see, for Scorpion's character background, he says, like Sub-Zero, Scorpion's true name and origin are not known. It is believed, however, that he is a fallen ninja granted the opportunity to avenge his death at the hands of the Lin Kuei. He has been given a new body and a uniform which mocks the Lin Kuei's with its cowardly yellow color. So they're saying that he's wearing yellow in the same style as Sub-Zero's, as a mockery, to say, like, your clan is just a bunch of cowards.
But he's the one wearing yellow, so that doesn't make any sense. But okay.
Yeah.
He's the one that's that's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard that before. Okay, all right. I guess I'll buy it. But then if we want to keep going, I mean, I guess later, I mean, there is another ninja that kind of looks like them, and they wears green. So I don't know. Like, I'd love to know how they.
Yeah.
That.
I would like the backstory on that.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they do not have a character profile in the DVD special features for that specific character. Probably because,
which one?
Yeah, we'll get there eventually. One final thing that I just wanted to note for this minute has to do with, I don't know how well like the listeners are receiving my comparison with the script that I have here. Sorry if it offends you,
Please.
but I love diving into it. So during this particular scene, Sonya actually doesn't come across and interact with Shang Tsung. She actually just comes across the ship's captain in down below, and then that's where, you know, they get confronted with Scorpion and SubZero, and then also the captain joins in the face-off as well. So there's that's one difference.
Who the heck's the captain?
He's just called captain in the script. I don't know.
It's Shang Tsung.
But
that's I got him.
We'll get to that in a couple later minutes. I'll bring the captain back.
You know this.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And actually, I'm gonna rock your world with the script in a couple of minutes. Just you wait.
I love it.
But we're not there yet.
There yet.
And that's pretty much all I have for this minute.
Yeah. That's all I have. That was a fun minute. Yeah.
Oh, actually.
Got one more
final thing that I didn't have written down because I thought of it as we were talking about it.
I like these.
So remember that hole in the door?
Yes.
That we were talking about, like that artistic.
You thought of something?
This is just a wild theory, but it kind of looks like, to me, Scorpion's serpent canai as looking from the top down.
I can totally see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's a symbol for Scorpion.
Maybe it's a fleur-de-lis. Who knows?
Who knows? Exactly. But now I'm done and I'm spent.
And I'm spent. Yeah, I'm good too. Yeah, that was good.
All right.
The next minute I can't wait for. So
well, unfortunately, you and the listeners are going to have to wait because that's all I got. Well, thanks so much again for listening. Once again, I'm Phil Casper.
I'm Spanish.
And we'll see you next time on the Mortal Kombat Minute.